slide right out of my arms. I struck out, I've been knocked down more times than I can count. But that don't matter now, 'cause when you smile I see the sun sink down on the coast out of California. And there's no doubt, because of you I'm not the man I was before you. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, oh, 'cause girl, you know I'm not. But I love you with everything I got. Girl, I'll give you my best shot. You saw a spark inside of me that no one else could find. Your good morning eyes, they get me high. Girl, you're always on my mind. 'Cause when you smile I see the sun sink down on the coast out of California. And there's no doubt, because of you I'm not the man I was before you. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, oh, 'cause girl, you know I'm not. But I love you with everything I got. Girl, I'll give you my best shot. Like angels singing every time I hear your name. When you smile, I see the sun sink down on the coast out of California. And there's no doubt, because of you I'm not the man I was before you. When you smile, I see the sun sink down on the coast out of California. And there's no doubt, because of you I'm better than I was before you. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, oh, God knows I'm not. But I love you with everything I got. Girl, I'll give you my best shot. I'm gonna give you my best shot. I'm gonna give you, yeah.
Never buy this honey. Never buy it. It is not unfiltered. It is heated. It is not raw.
Can you spare a few dollars for a tired old woman?
Yeah, I actually just finished cooking dinner. Would you like to come inside?
Yes.
Good. You have a seat right there.
Thank you.
And this is something for you. It's not much, but here you go.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Whew. It's kind of warm in here. You, my boy, are so kind. And you're kind of cute, too. I have a little something for you. Here it is.
Musical, you copyright, but I'm playing it.
A magic wand that will help you fulfill your every dream and
No, not
fulfill
yet.
your heart's desire. With the flick of the
Not
wrist,
yet.
poof! Practice a bit.
Not yet.
And remember, have yourself a little fun. Goodbye.
Weird.
You think it's that time? Okay, I'll give you one. Cause it is
Oh
time.
my gosh.
Yeah? You think so? Yeah. Come on, let's get it. Come on, let's go get it. Get it, go get it.
Ah, it works. It works. Yeah.
you.
Pulling me in like a magnet. Your eyes locked on me. Knew right that I had to have you. Right here in the middle of the floor, that's holding a wall on a back street. I knew I had to get close to you. Girl, what's your name? What's your dream? Yeah, what's your favorite song? If you're thinking what I'm thinking, we ain't gonna be in this bar too long. We're sticking on a tick-tock, stealing kisses out there in the dark. Yeah, it might be too soon to say I love you, but you're gonna make me want to. Soft hands touching on me, lighting me up like a bonfire. Your lips are making me think this is gonna be an all night. Right here in the middle of the crowd, you're the center of the world on a bar stool. Oh yeah, I had to get close to you, girl. What's your name? What's your drink? Yeah, what's your favorite song? If you're thinking what I'm thinking, we ain't gonna be in this bar too long. We're sticking on a tick-tock, stealing kisses out there in the dark. Yeah, it might be too soon to say I love you, but you're gonna make me want to. Out to your car.
Let's bring it up. Let's go ahead and read it. Let's go play. 85. 85 degrees. Rado, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? What's happening, brothers? What's happening? What's happening? Alicia Cooper, what's happening? We're going to get this read on. It's going to be a pretty good read. No, I'm going to read the 100 Years of Lynching and the other books in a few hours from now. So right now we're going to hit the Lands of Mars. We're going to hit Gods of Eden, Anunnaki, and the Wars and all that. Yo, what's up, JB? What's going on, beloved?
Right now,
Let's listen to some melanated country music,
I just need you to get
to which I play a lot. And there are tons and tons. Good old, this is my favorite right here.
Love, partner. And if you're by yourself, no worries.
This is the Get Up.
Follow after me.
My son on TikTok, he be dancing in Florida. You know, he cowboyed out anyway. Tall as hell. He be doing it. I be like, reminiscence of his father. Great dancer, you know. Y'all. I'm sitting down jamming. I'll be up getting the sweat on it, but this is like 87 degrees up in here. All right, let's get it in, guys. Gals and guys, all right. Yeah, I was utilizing that honey, and something wasn't right. I was like feeling like, it says, wait a minute, now that's supposed to be the natural raw. Nature's raw. But the organic, they kind of won the lawsuit. Well, not won it. You can look it up for yourself. But anyway, I said, wait a minute. I felt this before from bad honey. And I was like, I'm going to hit these people in the pocket. That's why I studied corporate business law. So, and I could take it, send it off. I figured, was it? It used to be $100 and some to have it tested. It might be more now. I don't know. And with everything's going on, everybody might be like, "No, the honey's fine. Eat it. We need you to go." You know what I mean? So, I'll look into it. But that is not good honey. I used to get passion and wildfire honey, and like what's called bees. Like I get it at Sprouts, and if I was to go to California, I know some people over there who, culture bees. They don't clip the wings of the queen and all that stuff. They let them do migration, all that stuff. So, and I think Utah, some of those Mormons have some excellent honey, but well, that's what I got to work with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wait a minute, I know this feeling. This is not good. And that's the reason why I said, let me drink this charcoal lemon and lime. And usually I put maple syrup in there. No sweets, no sugar at all. Just straight up lemon and lime. About a teaspoon and a half of activated charcoal, and that's it. And you saw the water. That's not purified water. That's just the water straight out the. I just opened it just to, water the plants. And yeah, I don't like that. These people, man, they get stuck in the money and they get around these old crazy people, and that's what I'm saying. These corporations, everything being incorporated is just ridiculous. But you would think that the people would have some decency talking about this is America. But when you're bought out and you get mingled around people and go on yachts and places where nobody can hear or see anything, you can't bring your phone on this cruise. Or they have that out there. That's some pretty messed up things going on in the world, people. And besides, I didn't take no magnesium today, which I probably should. I don't like taking a whole lot of it. And I'm making some greens and stuff, thawing out, so I'll get it that way. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the land of Mars, 178 worlds under the Great Dome. Snoo, what's going on, baby girl? JB, gotcha. They just went out. It's like, what's it, Tuesday? What are they here? They usually come on the weekends. Anyway, let's get into chapter 2, Mars, a great zoo. Yeah, I'll raise the seat up. All right, here we go. Okay, and it's when I read this before, this is a good little piece right here. This is a good little chapter. Okay, so just listen. I'll do my best to read it as straight as without too much interruptions or anything, and just really pay attention. So we know it's not Stefan. The 4th book is out. Nobody's donated, so I just ordered 1 book. What's his name? Donated $30, so I went ahead and ordered a $70 book. Y'all see, it was about $60, almost $70, but with everything paid, it's about, with the insurance and everything, like 72 something. But anyway, and that won't be here for about 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on. It looked like everything was going fast, everything was going slow, stuff getting lost. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So anyway, chapter 2, Mars, a great zoo. One of the most talked about planets in this last humanity, and where more visits have been made since the beginning, are the lands of Mars, who have received several humans during the timeline in the different post-reset beginnings. Today there is a large colony of humans on Mars, also dominated by the custodians and Anunnaki, but in a totally different way to the known lands, since those who are there is by pure merit, by performing different tasks against their own race to achieve their own way passage with no return. Now, as we commented in previous books, in parentheses such as the navigator who crossed the ice walls and the Terra Infinita, extraterrestrial worlds and their civilizations, R.E. Byrd, Rear Admiral Byrd, has been able to visit these lands on several occasions. And until the last thing that is known about him, he is still there living with his human colleagues in his gift for betraying his brothers and sisters. Although living in those lands has benefits, such as being able to live 4 or 5 times more years than in the same land, not having the incredible amount of diseases that we have today in the known lands, and not having to worry about working or obtaining food as it is done here, it also has great negative points, like being in permanent war with the neighboring races, the Greys of the Orion lands. Some draconian colony are also known as Itamans, Dracolands, but also existed other races that were moved there during the conquest of the other worlds between the custodians and Anunnaki beings. This is what our bird reported to the base after the first expedition that succeeded in crossing the extensive path between the Antarctic Passage and the one known today as Bird Passage that leads to the famous Mars lands. Bird Passage is real, y'all. Upon returning and making contact again with the operators who were attentively awaiting information as to where the Rear Admiral really was, he told them that he had passed the 2 membrane fields, but that he had encountered problems during the passage to Mars. These lands are not similar to ours, not even after the first membrane. There is a force that pushes you and imprisons you in the chest when you enter. It was a sensation that I have never had before. This record was kept forever in the secret reports handled by the high military officials in the United States of America. Such was his confusion upon entering that he was also immediately visited by beings from Orion, who accompanied him until he stepped on the lands of Aeria, the first lands near the passage. Now, Bird was accompanied by a member of the custodians known as Nimrod, who obviously knew these lands very well and also spoke with the beings that inhabited it, then gathered the human colony that at that time occupied another part of Aeria, but with time and some conflicts with other beings had to take refuge and inhabit the islands away from the mainland. Get out of there. Get down. Former politicians, members of important agencies, and well-known characters from the past gave rise to one of the largest human gatherings within the misnamed Red Planet. In this circle environment, there is no room for many humans, only for a handful of those who did homework, and for the custodians who did homework for the custodians and earned their one-way ticket. Now, while at first in inhospitable lands for even those who visited in the beginning, in recent times humans began to grow in numbers and adapted well to the island to carry on their development and allied communication with their neighbors. Having expanded their longevity, this leads them to be beings that learn many tasks and have knowledge, much of it, and weapons as well, for technology of warfare, and it is developed for attack and defense in conjunction with technology that was given to them by the custodians in ancient times. While some humans and other beings might be aware of the ideas that the custodians and Anunnaki leaders have about the use of the Mars lands, wow, they got pictures here, y'all. I'm gonna show you all these. Mars lands, they would never rebel against them. More so considering that returning to the known lands would also not be a big deal for those who managed to leave. In short, these lands are considered as in a great zoo, where they study the different behaviors, confrontations, and conflict resolution, a huge farm of exhaustive monitoring and analysis of races. In their past, they did it in the so-called clone lands, or second Earth, but then the plan was abandoned for various reasons that we will analyze in depth later in other books. But it is, and that's the next book I want to get. But it is worthwhile because you can draw several conclusions of how these parasitic races think and why they abandon lands. It could be a starting point in the analysis of the lands where we live and those around us. Okay? And then next we'll get into chapter 3, the red planet stained with innocent blood. It's pretty freaking interesting, isn't it? Let me show you these pictures. And this is also on that big map. So here you have the land of Mars, Eridania, human colony and area by the lands of Seth, right? And we know it's just drawings. It's not like somebody, if they had pictures, it wouldn't be in this book, trust me. And you see Argyria by human colony, okay? And then you have the second Earth, lands of clones. You have the, well, I mean, America 2, Ethiopia, Europa 2, it's all there. And on the map, the stuff doesn't look, it can be convincing because it's character. Here they go. It can be convincing, even though it's characterized like cartoonish, but it is a drawing, you know? And with all the lies, it's easy to doubt anything. So I guess you could say, do the research, and whatever you find, share it. So let's go ahead and get into the Gods of Eden by William Bramley. Okay. And what was that? Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and hit this part up. We'll read the short parts of all these books. Assuming doctors, for those who remember yesterday when we were sitting there talking about the Egyptian pyramids, the pharaohs, Cheops, Chephren, all that stuff, the Giza, and I inserted things. Today I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to do a whole lot of reinterpreting. We're just going to let it be, and I believe reading every other book will allow you, I guess, self-interpretation. All right? Assuming doctors Blair and Abramov have not grievously miscalculated, it appears that some of the pyramids of Earth may be part of a permanent marking system that extends to more than one planet of our solar system. Okay, I got to say something on that. I'm sorry. Y'all get it by now about the planets and solar system, right? The sun, we consider it solar, right? It's a system. They have everybody believing it's something outer beyond the stratosphere or the... No, it's a system. And there's many. And see, that's the whole thing. We are only allowed to be enlightened to this one by an enemy of our construct, to partake in their construct. You get what I'm saying? Okay. And you can probably explain it 12 different ways. That's how I look at it. Anyway, the system may even extend to Mars. Pyramid-like objects have been photographed on the Martian surface, and pictures snapped by the U.S. Viking mission in 1976 show the maritime region of Cydonia to contain possible pyramid-like objects and what appears to be a huge sculpted face nearby, staring skyward. It is easy to argue that the Martian pyramids and face are natural formations, not unlike some found on Earth. However, one and possibly two other faces have been discovered elsewhere on Mars, with strikingly similar features, such as the helmet, cheek notches, and indication, almost like Olmec, above the right eye. Perhaps equally interesting is the fact that one pyramid in Cydonia had a side pointing due north towards the Martian spin axis. In this alignment chance, or is this alignment chance, or is there a connection to the Great Pyramid at Giza, which is also aligned according to precise compass directions? Now, it is, of course, possible that the objects on the Moon and Mars will prove to be rock formations after all. Dispel and disprove, right? Available photographs seem inadequate to establish the formation or disinformation. Anyway, formation as artificial, if they are artificial. It is clear from the photographs that they have undergone a fair degree of erosion. Only a closer look during future missions to the Moon and Mars will resolve the controversy. The objects are certainly worth closer investigation because the Moon has hosted UFO phenomenon for centuries, including inside the Sea of Tranquility. Even if the Martian or lunar objects prove to be natural formations, that would not change the clearly artificial nature of Earth's pyramids. This compels us to return our focus to the pyramids of Egypt. Why? For whom did the ancient Egyptians say they were building their magnificent structures? Now, y'all know what the word lunar means, right? It's like my name, James. It means royalty. If you want to get into Jaime or all the other terms and languages. But lunar, what does it mean? Doesn't it mean surface? But when you hear it, you would think about like Space 1999 or Battlestar Galactica. You would think something, it's like terrain, the lunar module, it being in existence, something physical. You dig what I'm saying? Like the Terra, we see Terra Infinita, right? So whenever I go on the mezzanines, that is the terrain. And we can see the giant petrified tree stumps out here in Arizona. Like you can see there were trees that were humongous because you can see them sitting up there. Some of them halfway in the dirt, like something blasted them in the dirt. It's crazy stuff, y'all. Okay? So we're going to lock it off right there. All right? Oh, no, look, got to read this one part right here. Okay? Okay? Like the ancient Mesopotamians, the early ancient Egyptians claimed to be living under the rule of human-like extraterrestrial gods. The Egyptians wrote that their gods traveled into the heavens in flying boats, and in parentheses, these boats were later mythologized, good gracious, All right, to explain the movement of the sun. And the gods of Egypt's early period were said to be literal flesh and blood creatures with the same needs for food and shelter as human beings. Although homes had been built for them, those homes were furnished with human servants who later became Egypt's first priests. According to renowned historian James Henry Breast, the earliest servants of the gods were laymen who performed their duties without ceremony or ritual. Their jobs consisted simply of providing the gods with those things which formed the necessities and luxuries of an Egyptian of wealth and rank at that time: plentiful food and drink, fine clothing, music, and dance. And many people identify ancient Egyptian religion with the worship of animals. This type of veneration was unknown during the early period of the Egyptian civilization, according to Professor Breaston. What a fucking name. The hawk, for example, was the sacred animal of the sun god, and as such, a living hawk might have a place in the temple, where he was fed and kindly treated, as any such pet might be, but he was not worshipped, nor was he the object of an elaborate ritual as later. It's pretty informative, isn't it? It's pretty informative. A lot of things I wanted to go on to say, but I had to really hold off just saying the things that I said. They're returning. Like an old man looking out the window at everybody. Hey, so-and-so's coming back. I used to laugh at them. Why is she always in the windows looking at us? Here I am. Who the fuck is that? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's get into the reptilians and the history of humankind. Anunnaki by Henry Crane. I'm not going to show you the face of that monkey. You know what I'm saying? What was that? Reddit.com, world building. Oh, yeah, you're funny. It's linear. Exactly. Lunar is linear. Well, that's what I was saying. Terra Infinite. You know, right on time, baby girl. All right, let's get this part. This is starting to get a little meaty in this book too. Okay. And as y'all know, when we left off, we're talking about the scene magicians and all that stuff. Why you want to walk on the books? You got enough room here. Let me move this out the way so you can come on. There you go. There you go, Papa. Come on. Come on. You want to play? I'm making room for you. Why you want to play? You want to play? All right, in a little bit. Let me go and read this. Anyway, we're talking about Nazareth, Jesus, and all that other stuff. 4-year-old Jesus. Remember, and I was telling y'all about Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, South America, the truth. So remember, when we're reading their work. So we get what could be the truth. An easy way to misinform, disinformation by disinformation, and to look in the wrong places, to only seek out those things that they have laid in waiting, like traps. It was until he was 12 that the 3 Essene magicians went for him to instruct him in the mission of check this out, the Christification of his conscience, or Christification, and to dominate his power. He was first taken to the Great White Brotherhood in Egypt, where he was trained for some years, and later they took him to several secret lodges located in India, Tibet, Persia, Syria, and Greece. Finally, he finished his training in Qumran, the village of the Essenes. They were surprised by everything that Jesus was able to do, since he had reached a point at which he could change reality at will with only his words and thoughts. Jesus, during all his training, understood all the manipulation to which humankind was exposed, and he understood exactly why the Kadutsu made the decision to let the humans act on their own will. Now, Jesus understood that he could not intervene directly in the awakening of the consciousness of humankind, but his mission was to show us the way to our awakening and freedom. Humans must demonstrate that they are a breed worth of being preserved in the universe. Which is in your own friggin' head. Anyway, he also, and around you. He also understood why Enki had devised this plan for the salvation of humankind. So he decided to cut off all communication with him to avoid being manipulated, and began his journey to continue with his mission. When I used to listen to heavy metal and punk rock, I still do, one of my favorite songs was God Killer. And I think there's few books, I think I have one I purchased, right? And also a movie And then the what you call the gods, where you show the melanated people, witchery and this, that, and the other. I forget, was that in Louisiana? And you know they bring the homosexuality in, but there's a few movies from what I've heard that are out. Hey Herbo, what's going on, beloved? Yeah, I saw your comment. I was like, which one? What you talking about, bro? I was like, I have to go back and read it again. It should be noted that Inky could not contact Jesus and understood very well that Jesus understood perfectly the law of free will and did not want to be manipulated by anyone. After finishing his training, Jesus was able to communicate with the universal source, the true God of everything, and Jesus referred to him as his Father, since he understood that we are all one, since we are all him. Now, Inky was surprised by the progress of Jesus, since it really scared him a little, since no Anunnaki or Draconians in all their history had been able, Six Boss, what's up, beloved, able to communicate with the universal source. It was at the age of 30 that Jesus returned to Nazareth to see Mary and Jose. And this is where he fully began to fulfill his mission. The first thing he did was to perform a ritual called baptism, in which he was helped by John the Baptist, a man who knew Jesus from childhood and who had been surprised by the miracles he had made and had been faithful to him since then. So Jesus took him and as his first disciple in the baptism, and Jesus was anointed and cleaned on his spirit. We're going to stop there. Now, I'm just reading it, so y'all know how I feel. You might think that I would cringe with feelings and emotions about this word. No, I detest it because that's not the word nor the name. You can even allude to the fact of Simeon Motoko and about 5 others throughout periodic points through history, who these stories remain elusive for those who research that stuff. And I'm not getting into that because that's not what we're doing. Yet, I told you Quasimodo. Look up a Quasimodo, and then, I mean deep look, deep research Quasimodo. And then start paying attention, always ringing the bell. Why? Who was he fending off during the time of Greater Tartary? See, this is what nobody wants to speak upon, because nobody really has a good sense of time speaking on how the Ashkenaz added anywhere from 5 to 1,000 years, added it, made it up. And it's also funny that the Vatican, a lot of things that they said by their great source of power, them, when most of the stuff you see, especially in the New Testament, they are the authors of that and nobody else. But they want you to hold them as their gods, or not as the Mesopotamians, but the altar. So here we're going to get into DNA of the gods, the Anunnaki, creation of Eve, and the alien battle for humanity. The alien battle for humanity. I guess we'll get somewhere down in there before I get to the other book, and we'll find out. Alien battle. So we already know about Inky and Anu, and we know about some others, and that there are some, they have feelings and emotions that didn't like what was happening to us. When you're dealing with the Draconians, this, that, and the other, and even the other ones who are more snake-like. I wonder, because I've seen some of the statues, the porcelain, the clay, of a snake-like man with weird shoulders, almost like the Sleestaks or Star Trek, you know, James T. Kirk, you know. Well, what am I to do with these? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm just saying. And when I saw those in so-called South America, I was like, what in the flying? These things, somebody just make these, are these really old? And then when I started looking for the Hathamathers and looking for those carvings, those picturesque, a lot of those stones were destroyed, but you could still see half of the fish head. And even they wanted to allude that to Christianity, but you could see the eye and knew it was about the Hathamathers. So I always tell y'all, like Family Guy, Stewie's head, that's carvings I saw there, and even overseas. You know, you can't see it over in Dubai. A lot of that stuff, unless you go way out there in places that you know nothing about, and you probably won't come back. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this so we carry on, and we'll talk about a few other things. Now, yesterday I read about 4 non-counted periods. Allah was king in heaven, and in the 9th counted period, Anu gave battle to Alalush. So it's Anush and Alalush. And Alalush was defeated. He fled before Anush. Down he descended to the dark hued earth, and Anush took his seat upon the throne. So we're talking about Anu and Alalu. Even a Hawaiian name. Oh, excuse me, it's filling the line with the charcoal. Anyway, Inky spots Alalu's vessel and lands next to it at the tip of the Gulf. He himself, because remember when he came down here, he realized and found, and he because he wanted to go back. And so here we are with that visitation. He himself had used another type of energy derived from water, hydrogen, both to fuel his spacecraft and to open his way through the asteroid belt, the membrane. Because they have stories about coming under the water. It's easier. Both to fuel his spacecraft and to open his way through the asteroid belt. But he then learns about Alalu using nuclear power. He shrewdly sets his camp around Alalu's vessel, detects the gold in the water, and gets on exploring Earth with his own pilot. Soon, in the dark of the night, he retrieves 7 awesome weapons. The nukes from Alalu's spacecraft with the help of his pilot. Then the tablets describe how they both travel to a faraway land and hide the nuclear weapons so that they couldn't be used again. A faraway land. But they don't tell us the reason for doing so. Let's remember that Inky is a leading scientist in all physical, astronomical, mathematical, and engineering domains. While both his father, Anu, and the deposed king, Alalu, are totally ignorant of science. See Kramer and Maya, Myths of Inky. That's another book. Particularly, Inky has done such a pioneering discovery on water and hydrogen that on Nibiru, he is called Ea, Lord of Water. It seems nukes had become abhorrent on Nibiru, and that to stir volcanoes using them, even as a last resort, was criticized by some Nibirians, and particularly by Anu's clan. But Inky could also have been acting politically on his father's behalf. Now, aiming at weakening Alalu by spiriting away his powerful weapons, the sad detail is that Inky, in order to retrieve and hide the nukes, needed his pilot, who much later will reveal both the existence and the location of these nukes, thus allowing them to be used to smite and scorch part of modern Palestine and Israel, the biblical annihilation of Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, after Inky settled on Earth, right at his landing place in what will become the first city on Earth, Eridu, the fight between the two royal dynasties is transferred to the Earth, just as Alalu had done for him. Now, Anu had accepted, as a token for peace, Alalu's young grandson, Kumari, as a cupbearer, and in due course he will be challenged. Now, when 3 orbits or shars of Nibiru later, he visits Earth and the gold extraction town Eridu created by Inky, and he dares not leave behind on Nibiru either his legal heir, Enlil, or Kumbadi, just for fear that they would grab the power in his absence. But he doesn't dare either to bring Kumari all the way down to Earth, and leaves him behind at Earth's orbital space station manned by the Igigi, and those who see, observe, and orbit. That's what observe means, the orbit. And indeed, much later, a fierce war will happen, or observe and orbit, as in one of the two same. One is one thing, one is the other. To observe and be in orbit observing, excuse me. Anyway, fierce war will happen between Kumari, backed by the Igigi, and the Enlilites. Yeah, that's weird. We have to ponder this very bizarre fact that Anu sent his 2 competing heirs to Earth, the firstborn from a concubine, Inky, and the first one engineered later by his wife and half-sister, Enlil, and the legal heir. And furthermore, he discouraged them to ever visit Nibiru again. It could be read as a wicked and cruel strategy to keep his seat of power on Nibiru unchallenged. Yet the 2 contenders will now be pitted against each other for the domination or dominion over Earth. And then the struggle will be carried on by their sons and daughters. Basically, the colonization of Earth starts in 2 different locations, Sumar and Nubia, or Africa, with the continuous clash of the 2 opposing clans, and Enlil, king of command, will build his own temple abode and town, Nippur, in what will become the land of Sumar, whereas the domain of Enki, Lord of Earth, and chief scientist will be the Abzu, Africa. Both in South Africa, gold mines, and in Zimbabwe, genetic facility, and in Egypt. The fight of the two clans will lead to two pyramid wars and continuous conflict. I wanted to insert some stuff, but I figured you guys are pretty hip now, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to read the rest of this stuff. I'm going to stop there because we're going to start getting into the nuclear energy, instant communication, and all that other stuff. Well, somewhat. Let's get into the last book for this afternoon. Wars of the Anunnaki, Nuclear Self-Destruction in Ancient Sumar by Chris H. Hardy. Okay. This is the second book. He actually has a few books. Okay. There we go. What are you doing? He in the window licking his leg. I've never seen him. Anyway. The serpent is a symbol of divine wisdom and knowledge in gods and heroes. In the tablets, as it turns out, the serpent was Enki's emblem and signified his wisdom and secret knowledge. This spiritual knowledge was transmitted to disciples, thus creating wisdom lines. It looks like some weird word, wisdom lines, instead of bloodlines. Okay. Now we see multiple Sumerian representations of Enki accompanied by his snake symbol, and one on which he is called Buza, the keeper and solver of secrets, the initiate. On another one, he has the body of a coiled snake and the bust of a man, and he warns Zasurda, Noah, remember him, right, of the coming deluge. So it says C-Fig 1-2. I guess this is it right here. I don't know if it's real, but I think that's I would really like to see a real picture. I'm gonna have to look into that. In all ancient religions, the serpent was a symbol of wisdom and spiritual knowledge, as we can surmise from the emblem of the Naga, N-A-G-A, yes, or royal cobra, being the Hindu god Shiva's emblematic ally. Now Shiva, the yogi, the ascetic, dedicated to meditation and knowledge. Now, in some temples, especially natural ones such as sacred trees, Shiva is often represented only by stones engraved with snakes. Okay? Let's see if we got a picture of that. For those of us who are part of the medical profession, not working, but you know. Excuse me. Now, both the Vedic, Hindu, and the Tibetan Buddhist traditions hold that the Nagas were an intelligent race of semi-human snakes with cobra bodies, possessing an extremely powerful magic of the depth of the earth. Now, how many of y'all know about there was a period of time when we actually had a greener hue? I'm only saying because a lot of these things are phonetic. The king or the queen of the Nagas independently became the allies of the spiritual humans, the secrets and yogis on a quest for knowledge, and taught them. This is why the king or queen of the Nagas, the royal cobra, sometimes with multiple heads, guards the meditation of gods and goddesses, as well as the Buddha, by making something like, how many of y'all seen the original Buddha? Anyway, like a protective tree around them. And furthermore, the snake symbol represents a divine knowledge and wisdom, and is an attribute of some gods and goddesses. Thus, Isis is represented as a Naga snake. Excuse me. Okay, and so we can see, is there a plate 4? Oh, here we go. And wouldn't that be A, or would that be plate 4? Shiva dances the dance of creation. His snake symbol around his neck, see plate 5. Ishtar, Inanna, the great Minoan goddess, Hermes and Enki giving their quest for knowledge, and some heroes are all accompanied with the snake symbol. So we see plates 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this is it. I guess this is it right here. Okay. Excuse me. Moreover, in Hinduism, the serpent is the symbol of the energy Kundalini. We already know what that is, right? Okay. The psychic energy. So if we didn't know some of these things, we would be disinformed and misdirected, looking outside for something. The psychic energy that triggers the realization of heightened states of consciousness, such as levels of samadhis, and that is in sympathetic resonance with cosmic energy, prana. And when I was reading Flat Earth, any of y'all remember me reading that, talking about the prana and all this stuff? Okay. In cosmic consciousness, Brahman, the Tao, and thus as with Enki and Hermes, the snake is a symbol of the heightening of consciousness in humanity. There we go. Once awakened, the Kundalini energy ascends in the vertebral column and activates the psychic centers or chakras, one by one until it reaches the higher chakras, the throat, the third eye, asana, and finally, the head chakra, or 1,000-petal lotuses, at which stage the yogi attains a state of oneness. And fusion with cosmic consciousness. Remember I said the universe is in you? In that state of moksha, or liberation, she reaches a full harmonization with her own self, and through it partakes of the bliss and knowledge of Brahman. All right, now I'm not going to, there's another over here. Did I pass? God dang it. Y'all can look that up. I'm not going to go all the way back through to find that, okay? No, I'm just not going to. All right? No, that's plate 8. Anyway, but the serpent is also an instructor and then a protector of knowledge. Enki's domains in the Abzu, as well as the blazon of his city Eridu, both feature entwined snakes, and in numerous representations, these entwined snakes are guarded by powerful entities, such as lions or eagles. As I have argued in DNA of the Gods, the entwined snakes in Suma represent the DNA and the capacity for the evolution of humanity's consciousness. Nimna and Enki have passed the genetic engineering knowledge to Enki's son, Ningishzida, Noah, whom we know as Hermes in Greece and Thoth in Egypt, and this is how the snakes appear, in Hermes, Caduceus, entwined as an Enki symbol, and in the rod of Asclepius, and the god of medicine. So I had it, not Noah, I don't know why I thought that. As one serpent coiled around a rod, as the three of them were directly involved in the genetic engineering of humanity 300,000 years ago. Now the snake symbolizing the DNA marks the transmission of this secret knowledge from Enki to his son Hermes. And Hermes was probably a son he had with his half-sister Nimna. Now the love relationship between half-sister and half-brother was highly regarded in the Sumerian civilization and in Egypt as well. And the offspring would systematically be the royal heir. So you see why these fake-ass kings and queens and these pale skins keep running. They want to consider themselves the Sumerians. Yeah, right. Anyway, and the offspring was to systematically be the royal heir. Okay, boom, boom, boom. The reason I think is highly probable is that Ningishzida's mother remains unstable in the tablets, something quite rare. And Nimna, due to a forbidden relationship with her full brother Enlil at a young age, had been barred from legal marriage. Furthermore, Hermes is not only living with them in the Abzu, but his immense knowledge encompasses the fields of matter sciences and life sciences, and the secret science of the gods as well, since he is the one to perform the genetic upgrading of Adamu and Tiamat in the Eden, using the bone marrow of both Enki for Adamu and Nimna for Tiamat. Obviously, Nimna had taught him genetic engineering in Nubia. This upgrading brought to the adolescent's first couple both the capacity to reproduce and a huge leap in consciousness, namely the capacity to know and be wise, as the gods are wise. Let's recall the revealing word in the book. And we can go back to over there and check it out, but for the whole text, my emphasis, and that's in 12 chapters, page 12 chapters, page 363. We're not even there. And the woman saw that the tree was desirable to make one wise. Now, I think Ningishta was Noah, or something related, something like that. I've got to go back and read that again, because you know I'm not too big on that, and we read that in another book quite extensively, and I just, the words, there were so many, because like I said, Nimrod, that's what I was saying as far as the demons, the devils, anything to keep you away from it based on religious dichotomy, to have you read those things will have you, no, I want nothing to do with it. You see what I'm saying? And therefore enhances our ignorance and keeps us in the solitude of enslavement. Mental enslavement, physical, and allow an apparition outside of us to distinguishedly fuck us up. Just to keep it blatant and blunt. So we had a monkey make a comment that was just retarded early on. I actually screenshot it, and I got removed. I'm like, you idiot, bye. Because these people can't help themselves. They're broken. And like I said, you want to know what genetic manipulation was? A certain group of pale skins. Not all. Like I said, we bore many in. Genetically, our women and us are capable of it. Very much so. This is well known in the medical industry. But then there are those I have no knowledge about. I don't know who the fuck, how the fuck, but I know they go tails. I know they stink. Not all pale skins smell like wet dogs. I've been around a whole bunch of them working in the Navy. I had the ones that stunk, and I had the ones that was like us. It's like the head didn't stink enough. Trust me. Then the ones, and some people will say that's harmful. We were all eating the same shit, working out, the same oil, the dirt, the seawater, and everything else. The seawater had our skins pretty damn bright and cleansed. But anyway, trust me, there's a big damn difference, people. And it stands out. And me and the brothers used to get there and be like, you notice that shit? And especially the ones who's all in the ma'at and all that shit, you know, the pan fries used to be on the boat, they respected us, so they knew. They saw papers and stuff. All right, Red, he's white and Indian. And okay, yeah, you know, and white's a class. It has nothing to do with tone, skin color, or anything. But the thing is, because I know my history, I'm probably one of the fortunate ones to know my history going very far back. But the thing is, there's a difference. And if nobody makes you aware, you won't pay attention. And there's a group out there that's some weird shit. I don't know, and I don't want to get into it. All right? I like to keep things hypothetical. You research it. It's nothing but words. What was that? Baby, what's that? Invincible. Okay. Six boss. Yeah, I think I got you right, beloved. Okay. I'm just going back. T. Hines got you sitting there. You already know, beloved. What's cracking? What's cracking? I got JB and Alicia Cooper. What's going on, beloveds? What's happening? So I'm gonna have to go back and check out that word building one. It's a movie called Invincible. I'm gonna have to look at. I could look it up right quick. Let me see. You know, let me look right quick. Let me see what that's. Let me see. I don't know. I can't recall. Oh, I got rid of all the tabs, y'all. You talking about Pat Benatar, the football? You know, that was a big sham movie, right? You know, the kid didn't get shit and the people got rich. Anyway, I don't think that, no. They, overall lands don't have no right. Yeah, well, it's about killing us off. And then, yeah, child with Eddie Murphy and the snake woman. That was in the basement. Aha! Nirvana. Yeah. Well, one of those guys went on to become a ranger, and then real special operations, not operator, but real special operations Delta Force. So among her, his many children were Pan, a pipe playing fertility god. Also, y'all know that Peter Pan is an evil deity, right? I just wonder if anybody knows. The Daphnes, yes, the legendary hero of the shepherds of Sicily, Peter Pan. Boom, a very evil deity. Cabbage Patch children. It's funny that R. Kelly decided to start calling himself that and look at the... Bam! I was actually going to bring... Excellent. You know what I'm saying? Mark Wahlberg. The football movie, I know, yes. Pat Benatar, yeah. 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 Well, yeah. I'm doing Peter Griffin. You know that damn song and shit. That was our time and shit, Pat Benatar. We was retarded. School performing arts and all that shit, dancing and shit. Thought we was, because some of us, you know, fame was a real thing, you know. New York and Jersey, I mean, we was, you know, it was the thing. It was, you know, but so this stuff is a good read. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start looking at things. Now the thing is it to keep us stuck in this personification of the world we live in? It could be. My thing is, that's why I say everybody do the best research. Don't sit there and just take my word for something. I'm reading, I'm telling you research, and don't take certain individuals. You know that one cat, I can't stand him. I think he's a nigga lizard. I'm dead ass serious. Because there are melanated people who are born with tails, and they're not who you think they are. Mm-hmm. Facts. Remember that. I was looking at a little thing yesterday after we had a little discussion, and I was looking at all them Hindus born with tails. I was like, God dog, man. And then you think about the island lepers. You never hear nothing about that. People born with the toes and the Mongols, Down syndrome, and all that kind of stuff. It's not bad mouthing them. Like I said, an extension of our people, regardless of what's happened during all these damn conflicts and wars. And so it makes you think about the land of Mars, these turmoils of conflicts, right? Is it possible? Is it feasible to be looking outside when we should be looking inside? That's why I keep telling y'all, how many of y'all are really engineers, scientists, developers, inventors? And why would anyone stay somewhere and wait for the call, somebody to go to Harvard or Yale or Brown, or, hey, we want that person. We have this thing we're going to show you, and we want you to work for us. We see what you're working on, and we're very interested in what you can do. When we have some of the top material, DARPA, blah, blah, blah. And they get them in there and they graft them in, and these people are partying, they do whatever they want, and they go, hey, look, we got this elixir. You take it, don't worry, you're not going to die. You're doing the job. So this is what I'm talking about. And while at the same time, harming their own, that means willing to betray. And you see it on a regular. You see that I get Biden and Obama, when he put that shit around his neck, do you know what that alludes to? They use our symbolism and keep us dumb with our nose stuck in some fucking Bible, not knowing how to do hand gesture signs and anything. And then it comes out of us naturally because we start ganging up and stuff, and we doing dumb shit, and we don't know what we're really doing because we're applying it in the wrong direction. We're applying it in the wrong direction, and these Nagas, they don't know. And so why are we the Nagas, Negu? Because we're the original people of those times. We can make war with any fucking body by word. By visual, oratory. Hell, I got things that go ring, ring, bing, bing, boom, boom, real loud. Handcrafted. Whether ceramic or aluminium or some form of metal or whatever. Y'all better catch up. Not that I need them, but I'm just saying. Which one is that, boo? I'm a God killer. Oh, look at that, y'all. Hey, I'm asking y'all because I want to get these books, man, because I really do. Let me see if I can pull them up. Let me see if I can pull them up, honestly, because I really want to get them. Now, I got $82 sitting right here. Oh, it's on my wallet. $82. I'm gonna go ahead, or I can just go ahead and I can just go ahead and I can do a transfer. I can transfer from my one account to the other. I was going to just take that and deposit it. But I want to go ahead and let me sign it. Why did they sign me out, man? What the hell? Keep me signed in, nigga. I don't need to be signed out. Okay. So, the book that I ordered, y'all, oh, shit. Wow. Well, anyway, it was $65.16. I ordered the Vindicator Scrolls, Volume 1. I went and ordered it when I woke up to go pool last night. I didn't look at the time. I know it was still dark. It was hot as hell. I'm laying up there with damn blue and white starred shorts stretched out on top of the bed with this knucklehead still licking your leg. Anyway, right? Stretched out. And I just love the heat when I'm sleeping. I don't know about the rest of y'all. Some people got to have an ice ass bucket cold. Fuck that. I take cold showers. And I had the window cracked. And I was just like laying there like, okay, on my back. I sleep on my back. But I went ahead and ordered that. And so it's going to hopefully arrive here in about two and a half weeks, it was saying on the thing, ordering. But I really want to get The Ring of Cedars of Russia, The Ring of Cedars Book 2, because that's the way I could start. That's $44. And the other one, I mean, that's $64. And the other one's The Right of Love, which is book 8, part 2. Don't have to worry about part 8, all right? And Hidden Lands Beyond Antarctica, which is the last book right now that came available very recently in June. It came on the shelves. It was available in June, but it was in Spanish. Very recently, 2023, to Nos Confoundum, the last part to the 3 series I have. Now, I can buy it, I mean, you know, but I'm just saying, you guys chip in and go ahead and get them. Knock it out. We can worry about any other books later on, because like I said, there's a shitload of books down here, and we're not going to... Wait, especially the Göbekli Temple. I think Kiramil might have that book. But Past the Souls, y'all know I ordered that. That was only like $20. I ordered that. I'm waiting on that. That should be here also by this Friday. Babylon Timbuktu, it was only like $14. So those books I ordered, you know, with some of the change that was left over from when I ordered Anastasia 1, the $100 and something book. Yeah. All right. Hey, Kelly Edwards, what's going on below? Assist, yes. It's called Assist. What is that right there? It was a sex trafficker for the... you know what? We know that they're all dirty. We know that the whole system's corrupt. The music industry is messed up, just like Hollywood. And though I know some things because of when I was selling weed and stuff like that, and the people who I saw, you know, in that time period, 40 years ago, when you see them right now, big stars, names on Hollywood Walk of Fame bullshit, that's, you know, that's mysticism, right? It's a perversion form of so-called magic. Locking them down means really ownership. When I saw Ice Cube, I was like, nigga, you stupid, but most people don't know. But I will never assert, regardless of who they are, because the whole industry is fucked up. You know, you see these little young, melanated, or when you say black or white rappers, they're getting cornhole. You see them big mofos walking behind them with the big, weird-looking bellies that they all of a sudden get raped. They're all doing some weird shit, full of a whole lot of stuff. And you look, man. And remember I was talking about the synthetic anthraquone? Don't order it. Please don't do it. Don't be stupid. Trust me on this. Okay? And these, man, I can't, Snoop. So I dig where you coming from, baby. You know we're hip, but unless we're there, you dig what I'm saying? We know it is, but it's not even worth it. Is it okay to share a link to a song I made? I posted on YouTube. I only ask because it pertains to the things we're talking about. Of course you can. Why not? Yeah, you don't have to ask me that. The hidden history of humanity. This looks good. Oh, that looks like, okay, that might be a good book. You know, I always tap on it. Once it loads up, I'll go back and tap on all that. Kelly Edwards, what you want to help? I mean, assist. We work together. I pay the most, but to keep doing what I'm doing, that's what it's about. Most people are just making a living off of YouTube. I'm not here to do that. Because most people making a living don't know how to live. You gonna, yeah, of course you can share it, brother. Kiramia injured his clavis playing soccer, I think. What? Dude, I'm gonna have to holler at him. Okay. I didn't know, man. Okay. Taylor Swift got all those awards. Thanks, Oak. I appreciate that, brother. Taylor Swift got all those awards. Well, he earned them, I'm sure. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm already talking enough shiznit. That disturbs the crowd. I like But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. We're gonna come back in a couple hours, around about 4 or 5, and we'll get into the next part, which is the 100 years of lynching. 2 of those stories, and ancient day, or what you want to call it, ancient and modern Brits, and then they're back. Okay, Jews and Muslims in British colonial America. All right. And it'll be a good road. And I might read a little bit of the Science of the Sacred Secretion, seeing how we're covering some of this stuff. Okay? And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, bro. It's gonna be good. I don't like the way this is rolling. Now, this is the book that I was talking about, as y'all know. I really want to. I'm gonna start incorporating this book with all this. All right, the Alien World Order. I think it's gonna be pretty interesting for a lot of you. It's a book that I ordered that I didn't want to tell nobody about, but yeah. I'm going to start incorporating it, so have a little more insight on some of the stuff they're talking about. And it's definitely not by the same individuals, and far from the same times. All right? Put that right there. And what was that? Damn, I hope Caramel gets better. Yeah, I'm going to hit him up. I haven't video chatted with him for a minute. And so I've left some messages, but he might be really in some pain and stuff. I'm going to go check him out. All right, so I appreciate y'all taking the time. Last one, but everybody was like, oh, he's back? And they came to see. But anyway, you know how that goes. Love sisters and brothers. And I give with y'all Alien World Order. Damn right. But anyway, I'll chat with y'all. And let's help. Hey, let's assist in getting these other books so we can keep it rolling. Because that book, The Lands of Mars, will be over here pretty quickly. It's a pretty thin book. And I want to keep it going with the next part and just keep it rolling. All right? I'll let you know a little bit.